whole menu has to work in harmony, like a symphony. That's if one little piece is off, it can drag down the entire menu, and that's very, very, very dangerous. And at the end of the day, it's your name on your restaurant. So when you're putting together new menu items, you need to do what you believe will sell, right? Because nobody else can tell you that. So what you're looking to do when you put together a new menu is every young chef learns about the 30% food cost rule. Meaning, if you want to pay all of your fixed costs, all of your rent and your salaries and your taxes and everything, you want to make sure that 30% of all the money you bring in goes to pay for the ingredients. No more. If you start paying more, you're going to be in trouble. You're not going to be able to pay all your other expenses. However, that's a bit of an oversimplification. What you really want is for your entire sales mix, your entire menu, when weighted by how much of each item you sell, to average out at about 30%, ideally a little bit lower. And then you can have fun with stuff, because it doesn't matter if this thing comes out to 45%, right? I'm losing a little bit of money on it, because I have other stuff that comes out to 20%, and it's going to balance each other out. You usually don't want to make a whole new menu. You want to slowly evolve the menu item by item. You want to do that based on sales, right? So you want to be always looking at your sales mix, see what's selling, what's not. The things that are selling, if they're underperforming profit-wise, you might want to change that around. If they're overperforming profit-wise, good. Make people buy even more of that. So you want to ask your staff what kind of feedback you've been getting. You want to check all your reviews on the delivery platforms, especially, because that's where people tend to leave the most involved reviews about the food itself, rather than getting distracted by all the auxiliary stuff. And you want to talk to your customers. But at the end of the day, customers don't really know what they want. Or they don't know what they want until they've already had it. So they might tell you that they want this and this and this. Customers will always tell you that they want healthier options. They'll always tell you that they want something with less fat and less salt and less sugar, and then they don't order it because it doesn't taste good. So you take one menu item off, you put another one on. You got to make sure that it fills the hole in terms of type of food, right? If you take off the only pork item, you're going to want to replace it with a pork item. Yeah. If you take off the only vegetarian item, you must replace it with a vegetarian item, something like that. You want to make sure it sits within the price range of the whole that you've left with the item that you took off. And you want to make sure that it sits in the size, right? So appetizer, entree, dessert, anything like that, some small finger food or something larger. Seasonality, making sure the new item fits with everything else. And then you got to watch your mise en place. Mise en place is a French word meaning everything in its place. And that's the concept of all the ingredients, prepped products, sauces, spice mixes, garnishes, everything that sits where it needs to be, so that when it's busy, your hands know exactly where to go. So you got to make sure that any new menu item that you put on won't affect the way that your mise en place is set up right now too much. The goal is that every single ingredient, every single item that you order should have at least 2 uses in the kitchen. And this is not always true with fine dining, but at this level, you want to make sure that you don't have any orphan products in the store. Nothing that's only used for one item. The other part of that is keeping an eye on what I call recipe price creep. So it's easy to say, oh yeah, inflation, price of goods is going up, but do you really know by how much, right? And I use a very specific, I use something called reciprocity. It's a food costing and inventory control system for restaurants. And it's got a feature that I really like, which every time I input invoices from my suppliers, it sends me an email and alerts me if any product has gone up more than 5% in the past 30 days, or if any of my recipes now cost me more than a 30% food cost based on the most recent invoices that I've entered. And so I ask every other person in the restaurant business, are you using something to tell you when your ingredient prices have gone up, or are you just hoping that you'll, look at the invoices and be like, oh yeah, I think that's more, so I should probably reevaluate my menu prices? No, you have to have that systemized. A lot of it is about consistency, right? Unfortunately, sometimes a very talented and experienced owner will build a stand at Manifesto, put a team in there, build a menu, and then disappear. And things go downhill pretty quickly. It's not because the staff doesn't care, but it's because they get the feeling that the owner doesn't care, so why should they put in the extra effort to be perfect? The less existential answer is the concepts that are most successful are the ones that where people can tell the story of the concept in 5 words or less. Guys, I don't want to say it out loud because I'm not sure if it's actually, it's going to happen, but I have no idea when. We are working on plant-based barbecue. I kind of hate myself for this, and I hear I hear thousands of old Texas pitmasters rolling in their graves. Yeah. But look, we got to stay ahead. part of it is that there is just such a market for plant-based food right now. And if we don't stay on top of it, we're going to lose, right? Part of it is that I'm a father now. And I've started thinking a lot more about how the world we're leaving for our kids.